Hello, my name is Masternjs, and we have another play-by-play jungle video for you today. Now, don't look now. Don't look. I'm going to tell you, but don't look. My UI is trashed. Okay, as you can see, it's pretty bad. Take it in. Take a deep breath. Look at it. Now, the health bar and the mana bar aren't lined up. There's a lot going on here. The it's cut off on the bottom of the screen. We're in the process of changing some things around. The game's starting. I was like, oh, actually, I need to hit the record button right now. So I was doing that, and I didn't really realize how bad this is. So yeah, you've seen it. All right, now expel it from your mind. It's okay. You don't need to look at it anymore. All right, look center of the screen. All right, look at the hot dog right now. Arch your back, bro. You see that? That's what I want you looking at. For this game, I have a couple Hercules jungle gameplays. I need to get on the game and play a little bit more because I'm running out of videos to commentate over here. So yeah, I'll be playing some Smite today probably to hopefully get some good content. I don't necessarily mind recording over losses, but if I'm just having a really bad game, and I suppose maybe it's a better learning experience if I have a really terrible game and I'm making bad decisions. Maybe that's better for you guys to, watch, learn through my bad example versus my good example. But that doesn't feel too good for me. Like, I want to be, a cool guy. You tune into a Masternjs video, you're going to see some good gameplays, hopefully the thought, but in reality, just like everybody, right? Most of our games don't go as planned. Whether you win or lose, right? Things don't go according to plan a lot of the time. But yeah, let me yap at you for a little bit longer here as well. It's Monday today for me. It's kind of middle of the day here. Woke up early, did some jujitsu. I'm a big martial arts guy. I've done that all my life. I've been out of it actually for a while, so I've been returning to it recently. And it's been good. I've been getting back into it a lot quicker than I thought I would. It was a bit discouraging at first, your mental game. Like, I know what's going on, right? I trained for a long time. But it's kind of like my mental capacity, and you forget the little fine details and things, and those details matter a lot. And it's kind of, you can remember 95% of your technique, but it's going to be that last 5% that you're missing, which is going to be the last piece of the puzzle for that thing to work. But I've been getting in there. The first time I went in there, like I could not breathe. It was bad. And it's a bit frustrating, right? Where I used to be able to, roll forever, spar forever, whether it was MMA or kickboxing, taekwondo. I've done a lot of martial arts in my life. And maybe too, if you guys are interested in that, I have some clips that I've made unlisted actually. And we could list those, later, maybe as some sort of subscriber goal or something. If that's, interesting to you guys. Maybe you don't care, that's fine. After that, I went on a little jog. That felt pretty good. Got me nice and tired. Being tired is good. You don't have energy to have an anxious brain, really. When you have too much energy and no outlet for it, you're just gonna, be doing too much thinking. Too much stuff's going on in the noggin, the kabasa. And it's not good for you, right? So get out there and do something. Especially a game like Smite. I remember there was times too where I would just wake up, especially during the pandemic. I didn't have much going on. I couldn't go to the dojo. Everything was closed down. So I would just log in on Smite and, have all this toxicity, and I would get pretty upset at it, actually. So, go out there, get some sunshine on you, and it'll improve your Smite game, I promise you. All right, but let's see what's going on here. I did review this just now because this is a bit of an older gameplay. There's a lot of balance changes that happen. So, all the items and stuff aren't going to be the same, but, the general core things are always going to be remaining pretty similar. Looking at they have a Thanatos and an Aphrodite. Jing Wei is probably going to build a little bit of lifesteal. Poseidon may build some lifesteal. Fenrir has a little bit of innate healing in his kit, but, lifesteal isn't a poor stat for him. So Brawler's Beat Stick's looking pretty tasty on the menu. Let's see whether or not I build that item. There's some subtle foreshadowing there for you. So far, so good. No invades. Nice, easy clearing. Little auto attack cancels. I'm obsessed with it. We're walking away. He can finish clearing that buff. I'm going to be efficient here. Watch those early DM Brandon videos where people would get flamed to the 7th ring of hell for missing 2 steps. So we're a bit conscious of that. All right, so my mid laner went to mid. I got to be careful here. I'm kind of pulling a 2v1, but my eyes are on the buff. I want the buff. Pull it at a good time. He positions poorly. And that was good timing by me. We're able to really get this guy out of position. He has to use his ability to leap away, while I was able to use all of our abilities for damage. Neith hits a crazy route through the wall. That's nice. My pluck happens. Good combination play. I didn't even need to use the one there. Neith really came through on that.
Sick, bro.
So I'm kind of gassing up my teammate. You know, if you're going to say something in the game chat, make it something positive, right? If you're going to say something negative, say it to yourself.
Speed.
We all like to say negative things, but keep it to yourself, right? People don't need to hear that out here. You're just going to make them perform worse. So if you want to win, you know, try and uplift your teammates so they perform better. Now, I called out the invade on the speed. My mid laner didn't come. That's fine, as long as he's matching their mid laner. I'm actually going to walk around here so I have an unexpected angle on him because I knew I had the time to do so. I'm going to wait for my time to strike. That HP is low enough where I feel good to do it. And I'm able to secure all three. And you can kind of just see him. Yeah, he's a little upset about that one. Duel lane's pressured out. Zeus has the target very low, but he's dead now. It's not going to be too much. There's not too much recourse for me there. Aphrodite's going to be healing. They probably have pots ticking, so I need to be careful here. I'm hoping that maybe I can catch the Aphrodite in a lazy back. I'm thinking she has her teleport back to lane. Maybe she'll just take it, but she has that healer mentality. Now, right now, I got picked up by the minions. They saw me on the mini-map, so that's why Jingwei knew that I was coming. That really took away my initiative here, right? Now I'm kind of on the back foot. I'm chasing him down, and I'm far away from friendly territory. My teammates are taking a long time to get here because I'm on their side of the jungle. A little bit of clever positioning by me there. I can hit him with the ability and steal it. Now I'm kind of over it, but Khepri blinks in, so now I'm like, okay, I guess we need to dedicate a little bit. We get the beads, but now we're behind our tier 1 sub 3 minutes, right? So I'm calling completed. Let's just leave. Jingwei hits me with that. It's pretty cheeky. Just get me out of here, right? Now, during all that, I'm not sure where their jungler went on the minimap. I think he's probably on the solo side, so got to be a little bit aware of that. Hopefully he's not invading my speed. I doubt it, though. Okay. You know, his mental's a little hurt. That early game was rough for him, so I doubt his, you know, pulling something crazy back like that on me. And this jungle matchup is nice for me. Anytime Fenrir is going to brutalize, I'm just going to hit my 1 on him. This is pretty unsatisfying. I'm trapped behind the minions. Thankfully, I don't have to be there for too long. 360, look at that. 360 no scope. Okay.
Enemy missing right.
Now, the right side of the jungle is up. My timing's a little bit awkward. I'm kind of on the wrong side of the map here. And that's because I invaded early, right? So, you know, that was obviously good. But you got to be aware that when you do, you know, aggressive plays like that, you get off the standard timers. We heard Fenrir clearing the oracles earlier with his brutalize. We saw him do that. I could be helping my duo since I'm on this side of the map, but it looks like they secured it anyway, so that's fine. I'm trying to ward here, but that wall is thick. I kind of know that Poseidon already has it because he had it picked up, right? But getting the exact timer never hurt anybody. Farm up, splitting with my mid a little bit. So far, my mid player is definitely proven to be quite good. Definitely knows what he's doing. I like that backflip move right there too, right? Pulling those 2 minis, positioning himself well. Our time to clear these camps is pretty fast. Grab a little extra healing. Use a 3 for the auto attack cancel, speed up my own jungle clear. That guy had a vendetta, bro. He was leashed on me. He was coming for me. Sometimes I don't clear the Scorpion just because its HP is really high, but it gives you a fair amount of gold, 110 right there. So it's definitely a little bit more worth than you might think. You know, the time to clear is long, obviously, but it's worth quite a bit, and the consumable it drops is very good. Might be better to, you know, delay your gratification on that one and hold that consumable. It's a little bit rough when you have all your consumable slots tied up. But, you know, holding that one and maybe popping it when you're looking for a rotation to give you more information in that moment is going to be more high value than just popping it right away. My duel lane kind of walked over here. And I'm ripping the Erendite first item. I don't know why I sold that.
No,
I got this one. Definitely could have just placed that ward. I think too, I was like, oh, you can sell this? This is kind of cool, right? You can sell that for 33 gold. It's a nice little boost. But the wards are definitely valuable. You should just be dropping those wards. Alright, kind of running it down mid. I don't have any farm up right now. I think I was a little bit distracted there too. So I'm matching their sup here. Kind of going aggro. CC buffering to my rescue. Okay, Fenrir's behind me. I really thought he was just going to insta-ult me, so I used my Aegis. You can even hear me react in the moment was the best play. Pluck the target that I can kill right there. They have no more healing, so if this fight sustains, we're going to be in a good spot. The Whirlpool makes my routing a little bit weird. He kind of zoned me out from walking the way I wanted to. Poseidon beads. I kind of wanted it, but instead I'm going to settle, and then another beads. Good active pulls for us there. I was planning on kind of using my dash into the tower and killing him with the damage from my 2. The positioning of the Fenrir made me a bit wary of that, so I decided to try and push the Fenrir out of tower, hoping my team could combo him. But he made a good play by using the beads there. Looks like my mid and sup stayed aggro there, but my jungle camps are up. I'm going to take the time to come back this way. As far as I'm concerned, that play was done. I can't be hanging out there forever. This time I can kind of get these camps down. Let's see, do I run left or right here? Probably would be prudent of me to go into the right jungle and secure our buff camps. Instead, I'm grabbing the Wandering Harpy in this back, which isn't bad, right? But I'm kind of leaning towards playing for duo here. You don't want to run across the map a bunch of times. That makes your jungling very inefficient. So since I'm already here, I'm going to take those oracles, right? That was a good play. Now I'm kind of looking for the gank in mid. But I guess not, because not much is really going to happen there with that positioning, so I'm okay. Contest the mid camp maybe here. Looks like it's already down. The jungler is ganking right lane. It's unfortunate. Kind of just a little bit on the wrong side of the map there. Now, you can make great plays from the wrong side of the map, right? And you know, whether you call it wrong or right really depends on whether it works out for you or not, right? But fundamentally, you know, you want to be on those buff timers when they're coming up. And if you're doing something else, you want to have a good reason for doing something else, right? If I'm hanging out on that duo side of the map, I guess my what do you call it? My explanation for it is, oh, I guess I wanted those back camps, right? Was that worth my solo laner dying? Well, I'm not so sure, right? You can't tell the future, so you never know. But it's kind of those fundamental things like that. It's like, am I on the wrong or right side of the map, where I'm going to have the highest rate of these plays being successful, you know? That's good fundamental gameplay there. Now I'm calling the gold here. Zeus made a good play. He was able to solo out that Jing Wei. So now we should really rip an objective with this pressure we have. Anytime you get an opportunity like this, you know, these objectives die pretty quickly. You just got to get your team on the same page and you can knock it out. It could take a fight there, but, you know, we're starting to get a gold lead up. I have a couple camps up. Let's just farm, right? Let's get these, you know, last bits of farm that are up. You can back and actually make that gold advantage you've earned valuable. You know, if you have a large gold advantage, not to say that this is large, it's only 2k, but it is early game, so it's substantial, right? You have to go back to base to spend it, right? If you have that gold lead, and nothing's going to come from it unless you spend it. All right, I'm able to help out here. Got a bit of a Kobe. Oh, and it hits. All right, nice. But bit of a waste of my ult, honestly. It looks like there was pretty good potential on that play, but the distancing just didn't end up working in my favor, really.
Follow me. Attack.
Gonna call to pull this. You know, we have a second. We kind of looks like we pressured him out, so we have a second to rip this. Looks like Poseidon's in the neighborhood, though. We're gonna run at him, zone him out. Now, my sub should be making more of a zone here. And then, unfortunately, we actually lost that to the doves there, the pigeons, or the whatever birds Aphrodite uses. The DOT there ended up getting the last hit. Pretty unfortunate. My Odin's taking my back camps. A little bit troll. He should have just ran to his, you know, wave that's dying to his tower. So he took gold away from me, and he took gold away from himself. You know, I wouldn't really mind if, you know, because I've kind of left him on an island. But now he's making a rotation. I like it. It's going to put him farther behind in lane, but is able to get the kill on Lemon. So that looks nice for us. I'm kind of lurking on this Poseidon, but he was backpedaling, so that was actually a good play for him. In my head, I was going to clear the distance there before the Whirlpool came out, but that did not happen. Man, we're really trying everything we can to get this guy. He burned up all of our ults, but they used every resource in the book to get out of that. Able to steal a buff for it, though, at least. Not a super productive invade for my Odin here. Then he takes that. I mean, I get it. If I was the solo laner, I would take that. But since I'm the jungler, I want it, right? So, whichever role I'm playing is the role that gets the buffs, right? That's the way we think around here. And it's kind of bad for the Odin. I'm splitting that with him. I could at least give him a gank, but have fun out there, man. Good luck. Mid's getting ran down. Big Fenrir ult there. And it looks like Fenrir's going to get out on that one. But maybe not. Yeah, he lived. I tried to combo him real quick. I actually probably could have kept chasing him down. My Erendite just came up. So I could have been a little bit more heads up there. Could have kept chasing him right after the fact. I have reduced cooldowns because of my ultimate, right? My abilities are going to come back up faster. I could have popped the Erendite, chased him down, and hit him with a big auto. That might have worked out. A little bit easier said than done, though. You know, when he jumps even deeper into the tower, you're kind of saying, this play's done. But the tower falls, so good open mid there. Opening mid is always good. The only tower I don't like to take early... Well, the side lane towers, if you take them early, it can be a double-edged sword, right? You get the gold for knocking the tower down, a little bit of XP, and it's global, so that's nice. Your team gets ahead. The issue is you can really mess up your minions, right? Your minions will end up routing. Much like if you look at our solo lane right here, it's actually right now to our solo laner's advantage that his tower is gone, because his minions aren't getting killed by the tower and losing all that gold and XP, right? Their solo laner is going to have to push further into the lane to get his farm up, right? The Thanatos has to walk up further. Right there, you can see him. You can see his face. He has to press up further to get his farm, which is inherently dangerous for him, because me, the jungler, I could be lurking. So you need to be careful taking those side lanes. But mid tower, you always want mid tower every single time, because that's going to open up a lot of jungle territory for you in there. So then you can pressure them out of mid, take their jungle, and there's not much recourse for them because you own that territory, right? There's no tower there to help them. Here, I'm going to defend this mid tower. If it was a side tower, I probably wouldn't defend it, to be honest. I mean, I might defend it in the interest of farm. But this time I'm defending it in the interest of my tower staying up, right? I want to maintain our territory a little bit.
Enemy missing right.
Let's talk about the build for a second. I'm going into the Rune Forge Hammer. You know, let's talk about the Gold Fury there too. I didn't even hear them, so that was kind of troll. We definitely should have done something about that. But it is what it is. You know, now we're down 2k where we were up 2k a fair bit earlier. But for the build, I want Rune Forge Hammer because it was a new item. Maybe that's a little bit of recency bias there, right? I'm like, new item must be stronger. Definitely probably needed that beat stick in the slot there, right? CC immunity on that. That was a nice play. Now, I still have my eyes on Fenrir. Right? You could literally see I literally had my eyes on him. Able to get the Aegis off, thankfully. Now, I kind of lost track of him and everything that's going on. So now we're looking at the side. And we end up getting 2 rather than the 1. Honestly, Poseidon's a lot better of a target for us, so I'm glad we get that one. Unfortunate positioning for me there. I got hit by the ult, but that's fine. My 3 keeps me sustained. Hercules is very strong. That 3 keeps you very healthy. And it's now a bit of an offensive tool too, right? Where you can use it as an auto attack cancel, which is always true. But it gives you some auto attack speed as well, making, you know, the Hercules quite strong. Our team knocks down the side lane there. I like it. It's definitely the stage of the game where it's, you know, about time we start knocking those things down. If you knock down those side towers, you know, you get a little bit more objective pressure too, because those objectives are close to that side, and you have more, you know, territory to walk through there. See the Fenrir walking away. Guess I'll pick up a stone or 2.
Gank right lane.
Time to gank this Thana. Gotta be a little bit careful, is quite tanky. I don't have any anti-heal. Kind of waiting for my moment, biding my time. Stun him into the wall, big combo. Nice, and he kind of just got outplayed there. If he had his ult, that might have been a different story where he just ults out. Could have even came back in once his team was ready. Now, if there weren't so many archers blocking the way and we had minions coming in, I would be really down to dive this. I know the Khepri's here and he has ult, so we could do it like that. But, you know, whenever I'm expecting a Khepri ult, I never get it. Whenever I'm not expecting a Khepri ult, I usually get it. And that's just kind of the way things go. But I wasn't ready to all in on that. Maybe we could have swept down and pulled the Pyromancer. Fire Giant would be a bit too ambitious at that moment, I believe. Again, I'm building another new item. I'm reading it, actually. Like, what exactly does this do? And I would say it's not a great build choice, looking back at it. Building a dedicated... I mean, it gives me HP, and HP is not... what do you say? HP is very good, right? But building a dedicated magical defense item when there's 2 magical damage dealers in the game, and the Afro is really not hitting that hard, it's an item to counter the Poseidon. It's not great. Right, and it's a defensive item at that. If I'm going to go defensive item, Void Shield would have been a better thing to put in there. I really need a beat stick. If I wanted HP, Avenging Blade would even be nice. It's a bit late, but even still, I'm going to get value out of that item. Much more so than a dedicated magical defense item. I would like it if my Khepri zoned a little bit more, because I have the damage. I'm the one who's actually able to hurt this objective a little bit. But then the way his positioning makes me feel like the defensive responsibility is on me as well. Nice if Khepri opened the door. I saw that there was a low HP target. Stun him into the wall. Nice, big combo. Kobe? Oh, I mean, I did hit, but... We lose the Gold Fury on the other side of the map, so we need to get a gain over here. Zeus picks up the double off of it, though. That's really good. I'm telling my team to dive as hard as they can. Looks like they're just going to knock down the tower for free, though, without any defense. But look at this. Probably should have plucked him. Would have been nice if they kept sieging right. Looks like the Thanatos was there, though, so maybe it's easier said than done. Pyromancer's done, so we can't pull that. We really shouldn't pull a Fire Giant. We'll be back too soon. If we had wards, it could be okay. But no wards in the right jungle at all. Too risky. Not even worth it. Not even worth attempting. But we're 4-0-3 here. Pretty decent jungle game. Overall, it does feel pretty even. I would definitely say I'm doing a lot better than their jungler. But 5-man versus 5-man, you know, it's feeling more or less pretty equal at this point. I would say we have a diff on the jungle, where I'm performing a little bit better. Feels like there's a little bit of diff in the solo. Not that the Odin is playing bad, but the Thanatos' power level is just a little bit higher. I think that's just the difference of farming, where that Thanatos has been posted up taking all those minion waves. He has an execute. It's a little bit easier to play Thanatos in this kind of situation. We definitely should have been over here at this Fire Giant a lot quicker. Zeus is coming as well, but it looks like now this is something we're going to kind of pick up. I throw down my Nagas on it so they can kind of continue to tank it. We don't have to reset all that HP. Nice, and we pick up a lot of kills here. They're too far out, but I don't want them to kind of feel like they're able to come back in. I was zoning them out, but we really should have pulled that Fire Giant right away. Looks like my teammates kind of followed my lead, which is nice, right? They're wanting those kills, but I wasn't too confident I was actually going to get a kill there. I kind of wanted to ensure that they went all the way back to base, so they're not going to be able to come in and have a defensive opportunity. Kebri's kind of zoning, but is not in a good spot. Thankfully, it doesn't get stolen. And it's time to leave. Let's take our wins and get out of here. We have 5,000 gold as a lead. That's 1k per character, right? It doesn't actually split up that way, but that's a good way of thinking about it. So we need to get back there and spend that gold. Fenrir's building auto attack, as you can see right there. Let's pause it here and really let's dig into these builds for a second, actually. Okay, so let's see. So Odin, Erendite first. Interesting. Mystical Mail is very good. You have a good amount of HP there. Good HP item. Anti-heal, right? So pretty good all around. I think you probably bump this over. You probably skip the Erendite, in my opinion. But, you know, he's playing it his way. Erendite's not a bad item. So this is good. I like it. Okay, Sunder, yeah, that's fine. There's no combat blink at this point, right? There's no combat blink. Look at this. Double shell of 3 beads. Yeah, that's great. That's a good build right there. A lot of power, a lot of mana. And she's hitting, right? She's probably the strongest player in this game right now. Ooh, Pridwin first? I don't know about that. Probably should be... What? I didn't even realize this. What are we doing here? He's got the Warrior Axe Kepri? No wonder he's level 14, right? That's... Oh, and I mean... but he would be a lot better off with a support starter. That's Troll. Okay. It's like you've got a solo laner build here, buddy. Whoa, what are we? Hey, man, you need to watch a build guide or something. My build, this is Troll. I think these two items are kind of Troll. If I'm going to go hybrid items, which are definitely good, you definitely should go hybrid items. I don't think these two are it. Let's say Beat Stick, Void Shield. A lot better, right? Beat Stick, Avenging Blade, Beat Stick. You know, just some ideas there. But I like these first two items. Pretty good starter. Nice, I like that too. That looks pretty good. Ooh, it's making it work though. It just makes it a little rough in lane when you have a jungle starter right out the gate. Okay, no lifesteal. That's the first thing too. When I'm looking at enemy builds, I look if they have any defense towards me. And if they have any lifesteal, because those are two things I can kind of plan my build around. If they have defense, well, I need to build a little bit of penetration if I want to get through that. Or I know they have defense, they're not going to 100 to 0 me that quickly. So that's something to keep in mind. If they're building lifesteal, I know that I should probably be building some anti-heal, right? So those two things coincide very easily. What's another one to consider? I mean, if they're building critical, obviously you kind of understand what types of damage they're going to do to you, what they're going to kind of go for there. I had another example in mind. Oh, perfect example here. A lot of HP item, and a healing item, right? Heartseeker, Soul Reaver, Kinsize or Kin's Blade, they call it in this game. Those are going to be more effective because he has a higher HP pool, right? So those items that deal damage against the target's maximum HP are going to be more efficient when the enemy builds like this. If it's not building like that, but he has straight protection items, he has an item like this where it's just protections, no health, then if I'm AA build, instead of the Kin's Blade, I'm going to go for the Executioner because it's going to give me more value in that specific instance. Interesting. Maybe that's the play. Maybe cooldown is the play on Aphrodite. I don't actually know. This is probably passable, though. I don't think this is bad. Jungle starter. Maybe that's the meta. Maybe that's the flavor of the month here. It seems pretty good. There's the Kopesh, that Egyptian blade there. Very cool design. A little bit of crits coming in, right? So spectral armor would kind of counter that. But ADCs are going to rip and tear through you. And then here is building AA, so that's something to consider. Is not going ability damage, right? A little bit of hybrid. That's the cooldown ring, some defense. Might turn into a Genji's guard or something like that. But I'm not so sure. All right, so there's a little bit of a build breakdown there. What item am I going to build? I'm looking at the defensive tab. Okay, spectral armor, interesting. Maybe a Magi's cloak would have done me better. Magic's Cloak would definitely be a better choice. Mantle of Discord would be a better choice. And I guess the Spectral isn't so inherently bad, right? It's actually, you know, a good item for me to kind of try and counter the auto attackers. Because Fenrir is building auto attack damage. And Jingwei is going to be critting me, and she has a lot of auto attack damage. So that's not too bad. It's just that, you know, it's existing in a system where I already have a Rune Forge Hammer and an Ansel, or Ancelli, or however you want to say it, right? Just not the best pickup. I should probably get a little more damage. Or a better defensive item. I say my health regen is insane, but that's due to the Gold Fury. We should definitely bait them into a Gold Fury fight here. Odin's in right, a little bit weird. We got to be careful. If they 5-man us here, we could get bull rushed. But, you know, we have Fire Giants, so we should pull them into neutral territory and then just own them if they come and fight. Here, I feel like the defensive responsibility is on me, so I'm going to walk up. Odin looks like he's actually got the entire team on him. So we should take the contrary side and go to the left lane. Odin has that Obsidian Dagger. And he doesn't even get to use it. Looks like he forfeited that to the enemy. So that's not great. Gotta be a little bit careful, you know, going to the contrary side or the opposite side is very useful, especially in Old Smite, because they have to walk their asses all the way over there. In this one, though, they could have teleported over for a quick defensive thing. Now we should just reset, though. This is too risky. Our solo laner's dead, unless we can get a pick right here. Now I'm looking for this Jingwei, because I know that she's the most dangerous one. Instead, I go for the Aphrodite support with no anti-heal in my kit. And now it is only me. I'm still trying to look for that Afro. I know I'm not getting out of this alive. And that's pretty bad for us. Looks like we're still ahead on the gold there. But, you know, we just took the two biggest objectives in the game. Fire Giant and Ancient Gold Fury. And what we got for it was 2 towers. That's great. Yay. And then we got team wiped. So that's not good. Thankfully, though, they haven't backed to spend any of that gold. So we might have some recourse here. Some chance to kind of get it back on him. Alright, let's see what Odin's going to do here. Okay, jumping in on the Afro. I think if he held that spear, he could have found it. But that was actually quite a good try. And he defended our tower there. I like that. I was a bit worried when he stepped out of the Phoenix range. I thought he was going to get owned, but he actually made a good play. Jingwei splitting our left up. And here I am deep in philosophical thought. How do we win this game? I think the key to victory is that we kill that Jingwei and don't get Poseidon Krakens on more than, you know, a couple of us. A little bit of basic strategy there. Okay, trying to make a play here. We got all in the Thanatos for sure. We've already dedicated. Okay, he's out. He came back in. Can we make a counter play here? Nice, good damage on the Jingwei. I'm a little too deep, honestly. But this is kind of what I do, right? I'm going to get in there and make a big zone. Instead, though, it looks like our line kind of collapsed. We weren't able to get a kill anywhere else. And then I'm dealing with 4 enemy gods, and, you know, the rest of us are dead. A little bit salty about that one. Now, typically, I feel like that play that happened there, that whole team fight sequence, is something that should usually end in our favor. Good combination ult there, though. They get stuck in it, and, you know, they're stuck inside that Zeus ult and the Odin cage. So he's able to convert on 1 kill. Odin's a little low HP. He should kind of either decide to all in or run back and get his health back. I'm looking at builds right now instead of the action. Sorry for that. Not too entertaining to look at this screen versus whatever was going on there. But that's something you should be too, is when you're dead, you shouldn't be caught too much up in the action. What you're gonna what's going to be a lot more informative for you is to go through and analyze everybody's build. A couple minutes ago I paused and looked through it. You don't have the luxury of that much time, so when you have a death timer, that's your time to look and see what's going on.
The enemy team has destroyed the fire giant.
Alright, looks like we're kind of all or nothing in this one. Fenrir was down. They did get the fire giant, so we're at a bit of a disadvantage in this fight. It's 4v4 for them. We get to pick. That looks good. I'm going to defend these fire minions. Looks like we split up a little bit. We got two up there far on the right. Neith came mid. So I guess we're calling for a Gold Fury. Odin's doing his thing in right. And that's not good. We definitely need Odin as part of our main force here. He definitely impacts these team fights a lot. Looks like he's going to reset. Maybe he has a good item coming up. Worst case, this is 4v4 with a disadvantage due to Fire Giant, right? We do have the upside that Odin will be here before Thanatos, right, since Thanatos is currently dead. But can we secure this? Yay. Oh, we're able to get it. But my dash in there was putting me very far out of position. Ooh, good Kepri ult though. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. And Jing Wei kind of owned me there. She should have died for it, but the Obsidian Dagger bails her out. So what are we going to do here? How are we going to mount a comeback? Well, I don't know, honestly. We need to win a team fight. We need to win a team fight bad. See, Odin is stepping out of that range, a little bit dangerous, but what a play by our mid laner. Good combination there. The Odin's plans are measured in centuries. I was looking only seconds ahead. Could not even comprehend what was going through his mind. Not entirely hopeless, because we're at least getting some return kills here. It was a bit frustrating for me as well. Had a lot of good impact in the early game. Felt like I was balling out. Late game, things really aren't going my way.
Destroyed the fire.
Now, I don't know about farming this. I probably should have ran straight over. Kind of see that. I do that a fair amount of times this game where I'm just finishing a buff versus running straight to the team fight where my team definitely needs me. Hey, free runic bomb. Alright. Look at that. Just found it on the ground. Okay. A little bit of a troll push. Oh, he screeching gargoyled me. Oh, my HP! No! I didn't even get an ult there. And with all the defense I built, I still got wrecked. Yeah, it's GG. Game over. And this Odin's plans are measured in centuries, though, so let's see what he's got. He's probably calculated this all. He knows what's gonna work here. Hey, and a good attempt. He got in there and tried. Oh, hey, we reset the uneditor at the very end of the game. How great of us. So now look, everything is in order. Look, everything's nice and measured up there for the 3 seconds you were able to see it. Hovering between if I had fun or not. You know what? I had fun. Don't be salty. Say the GG. Take a look at the stats. Stats speak for themselves. What does that mean? I'm not so sure. That's a little bit of an unfortunate game. I kind of lived through the tragedy twice on that one. It feels bad. You have a good early game. Sometimes you can't convert in the late game. The same is true for the opposite, though. Sometimes you have a very terrible early game, but you pull it all back and convert in the end game. That's kind of the story of me and this Fenrir, right? He was getting wrecked early, but he pulled that up. He made some impact in the late game, and he ended up getting the dub. So congratulations, Mr. Lemon. I hope that SR pleases you. It was well earned indeed, brother. Um, Anything of note here? Let's see. Self healing, ally healing. Yeah, right. You just right there, right off the rip. That's 45k worth of healing that they did. You combine my damage and our ADC's damage, we combined for around 50k damage. So all of our damage throughout the game kind of gets negated by how much healing they had over there. And then again, here's the cursor to kind of help you. 24 plus 10 plus 11, right? And then our 26 plus our 25. So key takeaways there: build brawlers beat stick. If you're gonna build hybrid items, make sure they're good hybrid items. That build was not the best. So don't copy and paste that one for sure. And keep a good mindset. Just queue into the next one. Have a short memory. Um, things that are important, those key critical things. Put them in your long term memory there. Store them away. But things where you felt like you were balling out, or somebody flamed you, and things all fall apart in the end. Just forget about it. Life moves on. You'll get that SR back as long as you learn from your mistakes. But if you keep moving forward, just plowing ahead, and you're not learning anything, you're just getting angry at the game, well, your SR loss is for naught, right? So if you're going to lose, gain something from it. If you're going to win, well, you've already gained everything, right? There's not too much more to gain when you win. But when you take an L, take it with some integrity. Think about how you can use that to bounce back and make your future games more competitive for yourself. I hope you enjoyed that. And thanks for all the support. I appreciate all the comments and stuff on the previous videos. I enjoy talking to you guys. But that's it. Later. Peace.